The sky was painted in hues of cosmic fur embers, of celestial fire streaked across the heavens as the battle for existence raged on. The once harmonious world trembled beneath the weight of betrayal. Saccorhytus, the mother of evolution, stood at the center of creation, her translucent form glowing with the infinite energy of the Mammatrix, the sacred force that dictated the course of evolution itself. Across from her stood the Mantis Shrimp, its bioluminescent shell refracting the dying light of a collapsing era. Eyes that could perceive realities unseen glowed with the knowledge of a future own that would be shaped by creatures who lack the balance of nature, by humans who would carve existence into their own image. The Mammatrix must be destroyed, the Mantis Shrimp declared, its voice rippling through the air like a storm beneath the ocean. You have seen what is to come, Mother. Humanity will not be custodians of this world. They will be its executioners. But Saccorhytus, vast and eternal, did not waver. Evolution is not for us to decide, but to nurture. It is the law of existence. The earth trembled. The war had begun. From the depths of oceans, from the peaks of mountains, from the heart of the forest's ancient beings rose to take sides. The creatures who had once thrived under Saccorhytus's guidance were now divided. On one side stood the loyalist beasts who believed in the cycle of nature. The Megalodon, guardian of the abyss, lashed its massive body through the waters, shaking the seas. The Titanoboa, an endless coil of prehistoric power, slithered between dimensions, waiting to strike. The dire wolf, with eyes like burning stars, howled into the void, calling its kin. But on the other side stood the rebels, the ones who feared the future. The dragon, a force of scorching destruction, beat its mighty wings, igniting the atmosphere with its fury. The unicorn, once a beacon of purity, now wielded its ethereal horn against its creator. The Therizinosaurus, its massive claws capable of rending time itself, stood as an executioner. The sky cracked. The Mammatrix, the very essence of creation, became the battlefield itself. With an earth-shaking roar, the Mantis Shrimp launched itself at Saccorhytus, its eyes flashing with a spectrum of unseen light. The dragon's fire met the Megalodon's tidal fury. Claws, fangs, and power beyond comprehension clashed in a battle that defied reality itself. For a time, it seemed as though the rebels would succeed. The Mammatrix trembled, its energy weakening under the relentless assault. The vision of the Mantis Shrimp was clearer. They could destroy the Mammatrix. They could halt the birth of humans forever. But Saccorhytus, with the last of her divine strength, shattered the Mammatrix into countless fragments each piece, scattering to the ends of the world, embedding itself within the very fabric of existence. The rebels had failed. The battlefield fell silent. The rebels, now weak and exposed, realized too late what had happened. Saccorhytus, barely holding onto her form, loomed over them with sorrow in her endless gaze. you have torn the balance asunder. For this you shall bear the weight of exile. A rift in reality itself opened a portal leading to the farthest reaches of existence, to a world barren and lifeless. One by one, the rebels were cast out. The dragon fought, its wings thrashing against an invisible force, but it was pulled into the abyss. The unicorn cried out, its celestial light dimming as it vanished into darkness. The Mantis Shrimp, the orchestrator of it all, did not resist. It simply turned its piercing gaze towards Saccorhytus one final time. You have doomed this world, it whispered before stepping into the void. And then they were gone. But as the rift sealed, an echo of the Mammatrix followed the Thema fragment lost in the abyss. And from that fragment, over countless millennia, a new power would rise in exile. The war had ended, but the world was forever changed. The Mammatrix, once whole, was now fragmented. Evolution would continue, but now it would be unpredictable, chaotic, and uncontrollable. Saccorhytus, weakened beyond repair, made her final decree. Creatures shall no longer speak to humans. The knowledge of the past shall be buried within the silence of nature. And with that, she disappeared, her essence fading into the very planet she had nurtured. For eons, the creatures mourned, watching in silence as humanity rose. They could not warn them, they could not guide them, they could only observe as the inevitable future unfolded. But in the cold void of exile, something was stirring. On the distant, desolate planet where the rebels had been cast, time moved differently. The Mammatrix fragment that followed them was neither dead nor silent. It pulsed, feeding upon the hatred and suffering of those who had been banished. And from this cursed world, a new lineage took form. A creature born of the exiled essence, descendant of the Mantis Shrimp, watched the stars with burning eyes. It had inherited the knowledge of its ancestors. It had inherited the hatred of a stolen future. And it had one goal to return to Earth, reclaim the Mammatrix, and end the cycle of evolution forever. For millennia, Earth had known peace, but that peace was an illusion. In the shadows, remnants of the Mammatrix still lingered, hidden within the DNA of the most ancient creatures. And as the stars aligned, a portal began to stir in the void. The exiled ones were returning. The war had not ended. It had only just begun.